They always believed their mask was flawless. The narcissist built an image so polished, so convincing, that you'd never think to question it. Every word was crafted, every smile rehearsed, every compliment calculated. They wanted you to see perfection, not manipulation. But the truth was always there, hidden beneath their performance, in the small cracks they couldn't control, in the inconsistencies they hoped you'd ignore. The first lie they sell is the illusion of goodness. They present themselves as caring, generous, and noble. The one who's always helping others. But behind that charm, every gesture comes with a price. Their kindness is currency for control. They give not out of love, but out of expectation. And when the day comes that you stop paying them with admiration, they call you ungrateful. They'll tell you they only want what's best for you. But what they really mean is, they want what's best for them, through you. Every decision they advise you to make serves their hidden agenda. They twist guidance into manipulation, pretending to protect you while quietly steering your life into their design. Your independence threatens them, so they disguise control as care. The narcissist's second lie is the myth of their innocence. No matter what happens, it's never their fault. They rewrite every story where they're the victim, misunderstood, mistreated, or betrayed. They rely on your empathy to keep their record clean. But if you look closely, every conflict they've ever had ends the same way. Everyone else is the problem, and they're the tragic hero. They build their truth on shifting sand. When caught in a lie, they don't admit, they distort. They'll say, "That's not what I meant," or "You're twisting my words." They gaslight until you doubt your memory. Each denial chips away at your confidence, until you start apologizing for noticing the truth. That's the power they feed on, your uncertainty. To maintain their control, they need your confusion. The less sure you are about what's real, the more power they hold. That's why they mix kindness with cruelty, compliments with criticism. You never know which version you'll get, so you chase the good side, hoping to earn it again. That chase keeps you tied to their approval like a leash. Another lie they cling to is that they're misunderstood. They tell others you're overreacting, sensitive, or dramatic. They paint themselves as patient, while you're hard to deal with. This narrative keeps people on their side. They hide their manipulation behind charm, and let you look like the unstable one. It's how they control not just you, but the audience watching. They live for that audience. Image is everything to a narcissist. They curate every detail of how others see them. The perfect partner, the helpful friend, the humble achiever. What you see behind closed doors doesn't match what they show the world. But they're counting on your silence, on your shame, to keep that secret safe. When you start to speak the truth, they panic. Exposure is their greatest fear. They'll call you crazy, vindictive, or obsessed. They'll twist your honesty into accusation, your pain into proof that you're the problem. Their goal isn't to defend truth, it's to destroy your credibility before you can tell it. Every time they sense you slipping away, they reinvent themselves. Suddenly they're sorry. Suddenly they've changed. They'll cry, promise therapy, or talk about fate bringing you together. But it's not transformation, it's strategy. They know how to act like the person you wish they were, just long enough to make you doubt your decision to leave. The narcissist's apology is never real. It's bait. "I'm sorry you feel that way" is not remorse. It's manipulation disguised as empathy. They say what sounds right but means nothing. If they were truly sorry, they'd change the behavior, not just the words. But for them, apologies are tools, not truths. Their next lie is the myth of superiority. They convince you they're smarter, wiser, or more experienced, that you should trust their judgment over your own. Slowly, they chip away at your self-belief. You start to think you need their validation to feel capable. And that's exactly what they want. Dependence dressed up as partnership. When you achieve something, they shift the focus. They downplay your success, find flaws in your joy, or subtly take credit. Your glow makes them uncomfortable. So they dim your light with sarcasm, indifference, or backhanded praise. You're lucky, they say, as if your effort didn't matter. In their mind, no one's allowed to shine brighter than them. The narcissist's world runs on envy. They can't celebrate your growth because it reminds them of everything they're not. They'll pretend to cheer for you while secretly rooting for your failure. They thrive on control, not equality. To them, relationships are power games. Someone must win, someone must lose. Love becomes competition. Their most dangerous lie is love itself. They say they love you, but what they love is your reflection of them. How you make them feel important, admired, powerful. The moment you stop feeding that illusion, they withdraw their affection. Real love grows, theirs performs. You were never loved for who you are, only for how well you served their ego. They mimic empathy, but it's imitation. They study human emotion, like actors learning lines, noticing what reactions get sympathy, what words sound caring. But there's no depth behind it. They can describe love, but not feel it. They can talk about pain, but not understand it. Their emotional range ends where their self-interest begins. The narcissist's favorite defense is projection. They accuse you of doing what they're guilty of. If they lie, you're the liar. If they cheat, you're the untrustworthy one. It's a mirror trick. They throw their own darkness onto you, so no one sees it on them. And while you're busy defending yourself, they look calm and innocent. They thrive on confusion because it buys them time. As long as you're questioning yourself, they don't have to face the truth. They'll argue over small details just to derail the real issue. They care less about solving problems and more about winning conversations. Logic isn't their goal, domination is. They convince you that boundaries are betrayal. The moment you say no, they act hurt or angry. They'll guilt trip you with phrases like, "I thought you loved me," or "You've changed." To them, your independence feels like rejection, but healthy people respect boundaries. Narcissists see them as obstacles to control. They pretend to admire strength, but secretly resent it. The more confident you become, the more they try to sabotage you. They'll mock your ambitions, question your ideas, or bring up your past mistakes, just to make you doubt yourself. Weakness in you is comfort to them. Your self-doubt is their security. They pretend to want peace, but they need conflict to survive. Calm moments make them restless, because peace means no control, no chaos to manipulate. They'll start arguments out of nowhere, just to regain emotional dominance. The more you try to explain or fix things, the more power you hand them. Their chaos is a stage, and they're always the director. Their lies often come wrapped in half-truths. They'll tell stories with just enough reality to sound believable. That's how they trap you, not with pure fiction, but with distorted truth. It's why you can't easily prove they're lying. Every detail you question becomes another way for them to call you paranoid. It's a masterclass in psychological misdirection. They call themselves honest, but honesty to them means brutal criticism toward others, and zero accountability for themselves. They'll call you too sensitive for reacting to insults, yet explode when you mirror their tone. Their version of truth is weaponized, not to clarify but to wound, to humiliate, to remind you who holds the emotional power. When you start noticing inconsistencies, they switch to charm. They'll say the right things, flash the same smile that once disarmed you, and for a moment you'll question everything again. That's their pattern. Destroy, then soothe, hurt you, then heal you, just enough to keep you close. It's not love, it's control disguised as affection. They crave admiration like oxygen. Every compliment, every glance, every like on social media, it feeds their emptiness. But no amount is ever enough. Their ego is a bottomless pit, And when the applause fades, they start looking for new audiences, new sources of validation. They recycle people like batteries. Once you're drained, you're discarded. They'll tell others you're obsessed with them when you finally speak the truth. That's part of their smear campaign. They build the story before you even know you'll need to defend yourself. So when you finally expose them, it sounds like revenge, not truth. It's premeditated character assassination, their insurance policy against exposure. You'll notice how their stories about others are always extreme. People are either saints or monsters. There's no middle ground. That's because narcissists see the world in absolutes. You're perfect when you serve them, and worthless when you don't. Their reality has no balance, only hierarchy. You're either beneath them or beside their throne. Never equal. They teach you to doubt your instincts. Every time your gut warns you, they convince you you're imagining things. That's how they dismantle your internal compass. And when your intuition goes silent, they become your only guide. They call it love, but it's dependency. The slow erasure of your inner voice. They don't like questions, only compliance. The moment you ask why, they get defensive. They'll accuse you of disrespecting them, or worse, being ungrateful. Narcissists don't want understanding. They want obedience, and if you stop giving that, they'll punish you with silence, distance, or cold indifference. Their silence is not peace, it's punishment. They use withdrawal as a weapon, making you beg for connection. You start apologizing just to end the discomfort, even when you did nothing wrong. That's how they win, by making you fear abandonment more than self-respect. Their silence is not maturity. It's control through deprivation. They rewrite history as they go. What happened last week suddenly didn't happen at all. Promises vanish, insults become jokes, and the story always favors them. They know memory fades with time, so they reshape it to fit their narrative. And when you bring up the truth, they'll say you're still hung up on that, as if remembering pain is your flaw. They claim to value loyalty, but what they really want is submission. Loyalty means silence, compliance, and forgiveness on demand. The moment you stop playing along, you're labeled disloyal. In their world, loyalty is one way. You give, they take. The moment you need the same in return, they disappear behind excuses. Their relationships never end peacefully. They need to feel superior in every exit. If you leave them, they'll rewrite the story, so they were the one who left first. They can't handle rejection. It's an injury to their fragile identity. So they'll act like you were disposable, even if they're the ones still watching your life in secret. They stalk your glow from afar. Every picture you post, every achievement you share, it bothers them. They'll pretend not to care, but they watch. Your success after them is proof that their control failed, that their absence didn't destroy you, and that truth eats at them silently. Because your peace exposes their failure. Their need to dominate never ends. Even after you're gone, they'll try to influence your reputation, your relationships, your story. It's not love or hate, it's obsession with control. They can't accept being irrelevant, so they look for ways to stay in your narrative, even as the villain. What they don't realize is that exposure doesn't always come from confrontation. Sometimes it comes from silence, from your peace, your distance, your lack of reaction. The more you stop engaging, the more their mask slips on its own. Narcissists destroy themselves through the very lies they built to protect their image. Every lie they told about you eventually circles back. People start noticing contradictions, patterns, whispers that don't match their polished surface. The truth doesn't need to shout, it just waits. Over time, their own behavior becomes the evidence. You never had to prove they were fake. They do it themselves, one slip at a time. Their charm fades with age, but their manipulation grows sharper. They've learned what works: pity, guilt, Nostalgia. When charm stops working, they weaponize vulnerability. I'm lonely, they say. Well, you're the only one who truly knows me. But those words are not confession, they're traps. They study your empathy and use it against you. They tell everyone they've moved on, but they never truly let go. Not because they love you, but because they hate losing control. Narcissists don't miss people. They miss the power they once held. And that's why they return when they sense you've healed. They can feel it, like a radar for independence. But this time, you see it differently. You no longer mistake charm for change, or pity for depth. You notice how every apology sounds rehearsed. You recognize the cycle before it starts. That's your power, awareness. Once you see the pattern, the illusion breaks. Their words lose their magic. Because you finally see the magician's hands. You stop explaining yourself to people who choose not to understand. You realize that closure doesn't come from their apology, but from your acceptance of reality. You stop chasing explanations from liars and start trusting your own clarity. That shift from confusion to certainty is freedom. The lies that once trapped you now serve as warnings. You no longer take manipulation as love. You no longer tolerate half-truths or emotional games. You've learned that real connection doesn't require walking on eggshells. Love should bring peace, not exhaustion, and that realization rewires everything. Your calm becomes their exposure. The silence they used to control you now works against them. People notice the contrast, your peace versus their chaos. Without your energy to feed on, they unravel. The image they built begins to crumble because it was sustained by your forgiveness, your belief, your light. They never expected you to wake up. They thought their lies would last forever.
But truth has a way of surviving.
It finds cracks in every mask, every performance, every facade. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the end of their illusion. Not because you destroyed it, but because you stopped believing in it. Now you understand their greatest fear: irrelevance. Narcissists can't survive without being seen. And when you stop looking, they fade. They become the echo of their own lies, shouting into emptiness. Their downfall isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It's the silence of no longer being needed, admired, or believed. They'll try to rewrite your ending, but it's too late. You've taken back your story. You no longer need to prove what they did. You live it through your peace, your strength, your growth. That's the ultimate exposure, living well despite them. They can't manipulate what no longer belongs to them. Your attention. And here's the truth they never wanted you to realize. Their power was never real. It was borrowed from your kindness, your hope, your empathy. Once you took those back, they were left with nothing but their reflection, and they can't stand what they see. That's why they run from mirrors and honest people alike. You've seen behind the mask, and that's something they can never undo. Their lies may echo, but your clarity is louder. You walk differently now, not with bitterness, but with awareness. You no longer fear manipulation, because you understand its language. You speak truth fluently now, and that makes you untouchable. You didn't just survive them, you outgrew them. What they meant for control became your awakening. You turned pain into wisdom, confusion into strength. They taught you the value of boundaries, the necessity of self-respect. You don't need revenge. Your peace is the loudest proof of victory. Healing isn't weakness, it's the final act of power. And so, the lies they thought would blind you became the very light that set you free. You see them now, not as gods, but as fragile humans hiding behind illusion. The mask has cracked, and you no longer need to fix it. The truth stands quietly, unshaken, eternal. You walked through their darkness and found your clarity, and that's something no narcissist can ever steal again.